Definitely a lot healthier than eating just mindless junk food. Hey guys, welcome to News to the Sonish, and welcome back. We're going to be doing a review for Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I apologize that I couldn't do my review earlier, as Friday, as most of you already know, I had a major incident regarding my liver. But obviously, you already know the story behind it, and for those of you guys who don't know the story, check out my previous video. I explained everything of what happened to me. And ever since then, I've changed my diet drastically, and I've been working out and just eating clean. Anyways, on to the review. This is the review for Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Now, for the longest time, the world, me, and people that I know have doubted video game movie adaptations. And for good reason. All of them suck. They all suck. Can you think of one video game adaptation that respects the source material? No. Well, guess what? I think Pokemon Detective Pikachu has broken the video game adaptation curse. That's right. You heard me right. This movie is great. It's not amazing. It's not fantastic. It's not epic, or it's not Oscar worthy or anything like that. It's great. It's basically deterred the misconception of a video game adaptation film of being a horrible movie, and this is basically just broken the curse. It's given it another shot, and this is what happens when the source material is highly respected. It's studied, literally studied, because as far as I can tell, and from the research that I've done, the directors and writers and producers have studied animals and their behaviors and their characteristics for 2 years before doing this movie. Hey, good advice for a particular anthropomorphic character that's being adapted from the video games to the movies, right? So, as I was saying before, Pokemon Detective Pikachu is a great movie. Again, it's just great. It's not amazing. It's not awesome. It's great. It does respect the source material. It's loosely based on the video game of the same name of the Nintendo 3DS. I've never played the Nintendo 3DS version of Pokemon Detective Pikachu, but I've heard some few good things. But at this point, I don't really want to play because I'm not really touching my 3DS anymore. Pokemon Detective Pikachu, again, is loosely based on that. The story is not exactly the same, but it does have a lot of Easter eggs from that game, and also Easter eggs from Pokemon the anime and the manga itself. And if you are a Pokemon fan like I am, or at least I was a heavy Pokemon fan back in the day, you would notice a lot of these Easter eggs going in. Now, let's talk about the performances from the actors themselves. Justice Smith is the main character who plays Tim Goodman. He's on an investigation looking for his father, who's been missing for quite some time. And suddenly he stumbles upon Pikachu in his father's apartment. And it's up to Tim and Pikachu to find out what has happened to his father. That's pretty much the premises. I'm not going to spoil anything about this movie. Now, this movie is about an hour and 42 minutes or so, give or take. No Pokemon movies are ever that long. The premise is quite simple. Someone's missing. The detective's on the case to find out why they're missing. This film does remind me, and I read this in a lot of reviews, of Blade Runner and some neo-punk type movie mashed into one, except it's filled with little Pokemon critters running around. It's a great analogy to put, give or take. It does remind me of Blade Runner for the most part, and a little bit of Tron with Pokemon. And the performances from Justice Smith were great, and especially Ryan Reynolds, who plays Pikachu. That guy steals the show every time he's on screen. It's Pika-Pool, basically. Ryan Reynolds did a fantastic job playing Pikachu and voicing the character. He's just funny. It's like your Ryan Reynoldsisms is brought into this film, and you can hear it, and it's just a pleasure every time you hear Ryan Reynolds speak as Pikachu. And it's just hilarious. And especially the relationship between Pikachu and Psyduck, who's actually another hilarious Pokemon in this movie. I actually cracked up in this movie that it kind of hurt. So yeah, great film. It's a great time. The plot, again, is a very simple plot. I was able to determine what the ending was going to be like. I kind of guessed it, and I was like, oh, I was right. Totally guessed it. The Pokemon are done fantastic. The CGI is incredible on these creatures. They don't look creepy at all. Well, except, Linky Tongue and Mr. Mime. If I saw those things in my line of sight, I would scream like a little girl. Those are the things of nightmares. Look at those things. But yeah, the Pokemon are actually done overall really well. I think the writers and the animators really took the time with this movie. It shows that Pokemon has a very strong fan base, and I'm pretty sure they didn't want to disappoint anybody doing this film. And I think this film did it justice. And once again, I think it broke the video game movie adaptation curse. So let this be the first movie to break that curse. And hopefully, movie studios would be open to adapting video game cinematic universes, because that'd be cool to see. And this, again, is not based off of any of the major Pokemon games like Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow and Emerald and Sapphire and so on. But it does open doors to potentially create a cinematic universe for Pokemon. And I'm definitely looking forward to it since this movie has been highly praised. And I think people are going to want more if given the right script, following the source material, and done right and respected. A cinematic universe for Pokemon would be clearly on the table. So I'm going to give Pokemon Detective Pikachu a B-. That was my review for Pokemon Detective Pikachu, guys. What did you think? Hopefully you liked the film. Did you go see it? I actually want to give it a second shot and see this movie this time without my pain. But I believe it was a great time, and I definitely want to see it again. You guys should totally check out Pokemon Detective Pikachu. It is a great time, and I think you'll love it. You'll have laughs. You'll even have a couple of tears, maybe. And overall, fantastic film. And I hope that this does open the doors to other video game movie adaptations, including future Pokemon projects. So, guys, that was my review. What did you think? Please click like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. As always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.